What's up, everybody? Mike here, and in this video, I'll be going over some massive new Dragon Age Veilguard details, updates regarding a Q&A that happened, believe over Discord call. A little bit late to kind of like this, learn about this a bit. But been going through, different articles and reports, things about this, trying to make sense of all this, what's going on here, and do my best in this video to kind of sort of condense it down a bit and summarize it so that way you guys have a better understanding of what is going on with this game leading up to its release. Because, man, if you thought that this is maybe, not going to be as good as an RPG, or wondering about the RPG systems or whatever, or thinking like, oh man, this looks kind of mid or whatever. No, there's some cool stuff they're actually trying to do with this game, that they're incorporating that's new, as well as bringing some stuff back, how the party system's going to work, RPG systems, whether or not it's going to be a photo mode, etc. Like, there's a lot to dig into here. So let's kick off with a few details, starting with the Q&A here. When it comes to a bit of class specializations and a level cap here. So in the Q&A, it was revealed that Rook, the main character you play as, would be barred from using blood magic due to narrative reasons, apparently. And in Dragon Age the Veilguard, it is expected the level cap will be at 50. The game director notes that when it comes to its talent system, it's inspired by JRPG titles such as Final Fantasy X, and will offer a deep progression system. Dragon Age the Veilguard will also have difficulties that cater to hardcore players. This game would feature 3 active combat abilities that players can equip when heading out on a mission. On top of this loadout, Rook will also have an ultimate skill, as well as 1 extra ability defined by their gear. Considering that action-based gameplay separates basic abilities such as dodging, light, or heavy attacks. Developers also hinted that a mysterious character would drive the crafting system in the Veilguard, and confirmed that transmog would be featured in the game. Rook will also be able to wear outfits inspired by their faction in the Veilguard, such as like the Grey Wardens and others as well. Characters will address them by their last name in certain circumstances, which will be decided by some combination of their chosen race and origin. The dialogue in this game will have plenty of opportunities for Rook to define a backstory and reasons for joining a faction, and will often take their race into account. There are Fey-touched enemies in Olathian, if I'm saying it right. The detonation combos are meant to create a feeling of teamwork. You can select both your pronouns and gender separately. The character creation is extremely deep. There was a focus on skin tones done respectfully. They are actively looking into developing a photo mode for the game, so it will not have photo mode, at least as of right now, at launch. They have spent time on accessibility features, but will not share details until closer to launch on when it comes to this. It's been about 10 years since the events of Trespasser. Solus's ritual has taken time to set up, and Rook is coming in at the end of that. So basically 10 years from the Inquisition. In Thetis, ancient elves go bald after a millennia. Solus was not always bald, apparently. If you see Solus in the past, he will look different. Companions have specific color palettes and styles, but you can modify them. The party system will, unlike previous games, only be a 3-character party system this time around. So unlike, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Inquisition, which had a 4-party system, this has been brought down to 3, similar to what Mass Effect games are. And the game director explains that lowering the party count came hand in hand with a desire to bring everything in gameplay to a more intimate level. That means commanding more party actions all at once. The ability wheel seems to be a bit more limited this time around. So the Veilguard is using an ability wheel similar to Mass Effect, but it doesn't sound like you'll be able to use every spell or ability in your arsenal from this. Instead, you'll have to assign a loadout of 3 abilities per character in the party, and decide what moves you want to bring with you to the field. This is similar to Mass Effect Andromeda, which lets you learn every ability in the game, but we're limited to 3 at a time unless you swapped your loadout. Previous Dragon Age games let you access most of your spells and abilities from a similar wheel without limitation. The team is not focused on DLC at this time, which does make sense, honestly. They want to make sure they give you guys, obviously us as gamers, the best overall experience they can with the base game itself, and I want them to focus on that. We can worry about DLC, post-launch, after we see how this game's launched, the state it's in. Hopefully it's a good game, good story, characters, gameplay overall. And the game director wants to reiterate that Dragon Age the Veilguard won't have any microtransactions, battle passes, or online requirements, which is good news. It's still kind of sad though that we have to deal with this and be like celebrating stuff like this. Honestly, and be, you know, jumping for joy like, hey, yes, no microtransactions and no battle passes and all this other online requirement crap that other companies like to do. You know, it's great that they're not doing it, but it's also crazy. We're in a day and age where it's like, yeah, they have to let this be known to be clear. Otherwise, people are just going to assume, oh, they're going to have microtransactions and this and that and third. There won't be any asexual characters this time around, so a fan asked if any characters in the Veilguard will be on the ace spectrum, and the game director said that while none of the companions will be asexual, she, as a gray asexual person, would like to include one down the line. And I mentioned earlier how Rook, the main character, will not have access to blood magic because of story reasons. That doesn't mean that, you know, you cannot make your main character Rook into a necromancer or use elemental magic. And a more combat-based specialization are all on the table too. BioWare will show the character creator before launch, so don't worry about that. That is coming, guys. And the devs promise it will be the deepest one BioWare's ever done. There will be a collector's edition that's been confirmed by BioWare as well. So, while BioWare wasn't able to talk about the different editions for Veilguard, it essentially will be revealed soon. So, we'll find out later this summer, I'm sure. Maybe Gamescom, maybe beyond that. Your party members can leave if you piss them off, but they might come back. So, in previous Dragon Age games, your companions could leave your party if they disapproved of your actions enough. It sounds like the Veilguard will have similar falling outs, but it seems like some of them might not be permanent. If Rook dies, it's game over, people. In previous Dragon Age games, you'd shift control from one character to another if they died in combat. In the Veilguard, you'll have to reload a save if Rook dies. That's because you don't get direct control of your companions this time around, but you can spec a party member to revive you to salvage a bad fight. The Fade decision from Inquisition won't be a factor in the Veilguard, so in the Inquisition you had to choose between leaving either Dragon Age 2, Protagonist Hawk, or Grey Warden leader in the Fade to help save the team from an ugly spider demon. The devs confirmed this choice won't play into the Veilguard story, but did say it might come up in a future game down the line. And lastly, there won't be mounts this time around, apparently. So, because the Veilguard is an open world like Inquisition, you won't be riding a horse in a new game. The devs explained mounts were meant to address a need that the studio no longer has this time around. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I recently started up Dragon Age Origins for the first time ever and really enjoying it so far. It is a linear game overall experience so far. Same, you know, with Dragon Age 2, I remember that being linear as well. So, with the Veilguard, it's going back to that sort of more linear type of like structure, world building and things like that, and story and tones, things like that, which is not bad by any means. It's leaving the open worldness behind from Inquisition. So I think this is going to be solid. I still think it's going to be a lot of fun to play when it comes out, and hopefully they don't mess this up. And yeah, this doesn't necessarily need to be a Baldur's Gate 3 situation either. It can be its own thing. It needs to maybe sort of like bring us gamers back to that sort of golden age or golden era of, like, you know, RPGs in a sense, or at least BioWare's version of RPGs in a sense, from back in like the mid 2000s or so, you know, back in their heyday. And I know the team isn't like it was before, you know, it's not the old BioWare we used to know, but this is a chance for them to shine. This is a chance for them to win the fans back, you know, bring in new people as well too. So let's hope they don't drop the ball. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today when it comes to this update and news. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please hit that thumbs up. Would very much appreciate it. Love to hear from you, like I said before. And yeah, subscribe if you're new as well too. I got more videos coming at you soon of some other RPGs in terms of updates and news. So stay tuned for that. My name's Mike. Thanks for watching.